Thatcher's policies came to define life in Great Britain in the 1980s. She found a kindred spirit in former President Ronald Reagan, the keepers of the special relationship between Britain and the U.S. And together, they became the architects of a golden age of conservatism. He called her the best man in England. She called him the second most important man in my life. Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher, the former movie star and the grocer's daughter, the odd couple who formed one of the most important political marriages of the 20th century.
Mr. President, Henry David Thoreau once said that it takes two to speak the truth, one to speak and another to hear. Well, sometimes one of us has spoken and sometimes the other. But together, Mr. President, I would like to think that we have spoken the truth.
Thatcher's words in 1981 when she was President Reagan's first foreign guest to the White House. But the mutual admiration began long before that, when Thatcher's late husband Dennis Thatcher caught a speech by Reagan years before. In 1975, Thatcher welcomed Reagan to London after she was elected head of the Conservative Party. In 1980, when Reagan was picking his vice presidential nominee, he wrote in a letter to a supporter, quote, "I have thought about the idea of a woman for vice president, but have to tell you polls we've taken indicate that the people aren't quite ready for that. I don't understand it, because I'm a big fan of Margaret Thatcher."
She has been a staunch ally, my political soulmate, a great visionary, and a dear, dear friend.
Both were resolute anti-communists who rose to power in the heart of the Cold War. Both were beacons of the political right, whose economic policies cause division even today. What Americans called Reaganomics, fewer regulations, smaller government, lower taxes, was virtually synonymous with another word among the Brits, Thatcherism.
It was closer ideologically and warmer personally than any relationship between any other British Prime Minister and any other American president.
Jeffrey Smith, who wrote a joint biography on Thatcher and Reagan, recalls that it was Thatcher who convinced Reagan that Mikhail Gorbachev was a Soviet leader with whom they could finally do business.
She phoned Reagan and said, "I have just met this new leader of the Soviet Union. He is unlike any other leader of the Soviet Union."
Still, Thatcher ended up sitting next to Gorbachev at Reagan's funeral in 2004. By then, she was suffering serious health problems of her own, but she would not be denied the chance to eulogize her friend and counterpart on videotape.
"We have lost a great president, a great American, and a great man, and I have lost a dear friend."